Hello, welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. Hello. Just wanted to do a little brief summary. I went to an event yesterday, a town hall on the Green New Deal. Let me say that again. Town hall on the Green New Deal. Yeah, the quotation marks is because it was less of a town hall and more of a rally. Like if you're in a room full of people who are 100% bought into this ideology, this belief, and it's, you're going back and forth, just you chant something, they chant it back, as opposed to, and even the questions that you're taking aren't necessarily to elicit more information on the Green New Deal or climate change in general, but the questions are more so like, why aren't you backing the Green New Deal? And even those, all the questions are gone through a moderator. So the audience didn't directly question the individuals that showed up, and only some of the individuals that spoke. Jamali Williams spoke. Nydia Velasquez, Yvette Clark. I'm forgetting there's a couple of, Nadler was there. So there was Carolyn Mahoney. But yeah, so it wasn't even direct participation between the audience and the politicians. By the way, Jamani Williams spoke. He gave a speech. Everyone up, and then sat down. The the Congress people are the ones that actually answered some questions. They gave their speeches, and then they received questions from the moderator. So it was a forum at a forum/rally, but a town hall, no, because there was no direct interaction between the audience and the members, the Congress people that spoke on the issue. And additionally, like I said, it was almost all people that were already bought into the movement. I think I may have been the only person that wasn't, on board with the Green New Deal. But I was expecting an opportunity for more interaction. But once I got to the place and they said, oh yes, and if you have any questions, you can write them down and put them in this jar, and we'll ask them during the thing. So I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. But it was held at 32 BJ SEIU's headquarters, and groups like Sunshine Movement. I believe they're the ones that had the kids confront Feinstein. They're planning to confront Schumer. They're planning to call Schumer and confront him at his office. I think Tuesday at 10:30. It's what was interesting that, at one point, one of the questions that was asked of the audience to discuss amongst ourselves is, what's your fear regarding, climate change? And then what's your hope? And people were like, it's fear that we're all going to die, that this is going to be catastrophic, that just, nations will be wiped off the map. I'm like, well, I'm here for more information. I'm not, I guess I could have said, my fear is that the government will use this as a tool to gain drastically more authority and control over our lives. That would have been a fear. That's something I could have said. Yeah, that the government is using this as a ploy to give itself, just incredible amounts of power and control over our lives and every aspect of our lives, and that we're reaching a point where the government, like a point of no return, where like there will be no way to effectively challenge the government, because they will just have complete and utter domination over all of us. That'll be it. We will be completely, and not just dependent, but just completely under the thumb and boot of the powers that be. Yeah, but in terms of climate change, I mean, I've been around, and that one of the things I think is interesting is how many young people are involved. So it's a matter of, and I believe the gentleman's name is Harold Camping. If you look at Harold Camping, if somebody joined Harold Camping's, he's a Christian who believes that the end times are coming, the rapture and these things. But let's say you just joined the Harold Camping's movement, and you're like, wow, this is so, seems so real, and he seems so authentic. His knowledge of Scripture is amazing, and he's saying that we've got. I don't know what he's saying right now, but I'm going to say, let's say he's saying we have 20 more years left before the rapture happens and the end times are upon us. And somebody's like, oh, wow, this is so amazing. And somebody who's been around a little bit longer and who's older, who will say, wait a minute, Harold Camping, that's the guy that said that the world was going to end in 2016 or 2015. That's the guy that said the world was going to end before that. And they have the benefit of the insight that, wait a minute, this guy's been saying, okay, it's happening any day now. In fact, tomorrow's the day. Watch out. And then nothing happens. And so now you have people who are skeptical of this dude because they're like, wait a minute, you done predicted that this is going to happen this time. Now I got to look at you skeptically, and they're right to. Somebody who doesn't know that he's made these predictions before won't have that same insight. So when you look at these, there's a word that they're using, climate alarmists or something, climate alarmists, who have said in the past, oh, any day now, it's going to happen. We're all going to die. The sun and the hole in the ozone is going to kill us all. Oh, the floodwaters are going to rise. They're going to wipe California off the map. They're going to wipe all the coastal cities off the map. If they've been saying this over and over and over again, you got to stop and say, okay, you got to look at them skeptically. And you got to start cutting through the nonsense and start looking at actual data. So even with these 12 years that they're saying are left, that's people are, number one, not being, some people are being disingenuous, some people are just lying. But the 12-year number isn't even referencing what people think it's referencing. It's not referencing the end of the world. It's not referencing this point where if something isn't done by then, all hell breaks loose. It's referencing a point where the GDP will drop some percentage. There will be some, like it's like what they're referencing is just light years away from what this fear that they fomented in people. And it's really sad. It's ridiculous because it's clear that there are people who have no problem exploiting people's fear to gain for their benefit, for their financial benefit, for their political benefit, for their to gain more power. But this is what we've got happening, and so I'm seeing here this firsthand. But at the same point, you got to realize they've got a lot of people afraid. So people who are afraid are moving. So by introducing this deadline, this 12-year deadline, what they've done is motivated a lot of people to be active now, because that's what they realized. If we say, okay, if this keeps going in 2100, the water will have risen, sea levels will have risen some, and there will be more droughts and famines. If you say 2100, it's not as, the urgency isn't there. So in order to market this, in order to get people much more energized, they've come up with this 12-year number. They're pushing this hard, and they've got a lot of people that are just up and on and ready to hit the ground running, because they believe that in 12 years, all bets are off. But it's funny because I said, hey, I'm here for more information. I've heard about the IPCC. I don't it was like blank stares when I mentioned the IPCC. Maybe I got the acronym wrong. But if I didn't get the acronym wrong, there should have been, oh yeah, I've read that. I didn't get that. Or there should have been oh, you mean the ICPC or something like that. Like if I got the acronym wrong, okay. But there was no attempt to correct me. It was just blank stares, as if they had never heard of anything of what I'm talking about. It's IPCC, International Panel on Climate Change. But yeah, it's like just blank stares. So it's like you're dealing with people who are just regurgitating talking points that they've been told. They're not doing their own research, and but they're scared. They're scared, and they're out there. They're running around, and they're mobilized. And so, I guess if you're gonna try to combat that, you got to come with some facts. You got to come with some data. You've got to tell people that there's a difference between 0 and 100. That there's some people who say, oh, there's nothing we have to do, or there's nothing that needs to be done. We can just keep, let's, just throw toxic waste into your backyard. Everything's fine. Which is a lot different from the people that says, oh yes, in order to save the world, we need to raise the minimum wage to $30 an hour. We need to, wait, what does this have to do with climate change again? Which they somehow try to talk about how social justice and climate justice are connected. That makes no, what? Economic inequality, you're talking about a separate issue, which if this is as much of a threat to our physical safety, trying to get your policy wish list passed is hindering saving people's physical lives, because you're trying to attach it to your policy wish list and say, okay, you want to pass it now? But yeah, I'm going to get some more information on climate change, and we need to have more climate information on the actual facts, the data. If you're gonna challenge these narratives that are being pushed, you got to have the data, you got to have the information, you got to be educated. You can't just say, especially if people weren't there to see these predictions being made and then being proven wrong, just through the passage of time. You've got to come forward with data and show that even the narratives that are being pushed forth right now are not accurate. So thank you for joining me on today's episode. Welcome to Escaping the Echo Chamber. Not welcome to the Echo Chamber. No, this is not the Echo Chamber. You're escaping the Echo Chamber. That's what this is about. So give me a thumbs up. Give me a like, give me a share, hit the notifications. I've been saying that. But hit the notifications so that you can be notified of when I'm coming out with videos, because I've decided I'm going to be doing the videos 2 times a week. The days and times that I'll be releasing these videos I will be coming forward with that information soon. But like I said, give me a like, give me a share, hit the notifications, comments. If you agree, if you disagree, if you have resources that you say, hey, you gotta look at this information, feel free to do that. Thank you. Escaping the Echo Chamber, and I will see you next episode.